This week at Sunrise, we're going to be continuing our series about the miracles of Jesus as they're recorded in John's Gospel. And we're going to be picking up with Jesus' feeding of the 5,000 and the sermon that he preaches to his followers after the miracle. And that's all recorded in John chapter 6. So let's pick up in John chapter 6, verse 27. This is Jesus talking. He says, "Do not work for food that spoils, but for food that endures to eternal life, which the Son of Man will give you. On him, God the Father has placed his seal of approval." Then they asked him, "What must we do to do the works God requires?" Jesus answered, "The work of God is this, to believe in the one he has sent." And later on he says, "I am the bread of life. He who comes to me will never go hungry, and he who believes in me will never be thirsty." So what Jesus is saying here is that in order for us to have eternal life and full life now, all we have to do is believe in him. Now, full life now doesn't mean that we're not going to have difficult seasons of life, or that our relationships aren't going to be hard, or that our jobs aren't going to be miserable at times. What it does mean is that when that happens, when life is hard, when life is hardest, that God will be with us and that God will sustain us through that. The other thing that Jesus is saying here is that if we have believed in him, we have the promise of eternal life no matter what else happens. And so we can be confident no matter what happens, no matter how hard life gets, that God hasn't abandoned us, that he's still right there with us, and we need to believe him and that he will sustain us through this life and give us eternal life to come, no matter how hard life gets on earth now. So let's think about what that means for us to believe God in our daily lives this week. And let's also read John chapter 6 for Sunday.